saps a revenue stream. And let's also note, by the way, that beyond NewsGuard and GDI, there was funding for dozens of other organizations that were involved in things like dis, and malinformation detection and such. And all of this was fueling an ecosystem that existed ultimately to clamp down on speech, whether from individuals or outlets. And that's US tax dollars ultimately funding the silencing of ourselves, and that's un-American.
Yeah, US tax dollars through grant programs to create a censorship empire on American citizens under the guise of this global engagement center, which was meant to look. I agree with Ms. Jankowicz. We want to be dealing with China, Russia, Iran, foreign adversaries, but that's not what this was. Mr. Taibbi, your Twitter files analyzed 3.8 billion US tweets, and the metrics exposed GEC's ties to the Election Integrity Project, which flagged 22 million election posts in 2020. Can you highlight the information you found that exposes GEC's efforts to push platforms to censor Americans, and how many accounts were affected?
Certainly, first I'd like to respond to something that Ms. Jankowicz said.
Feel free.
She mentioned that Yoel Roth, who is the head of trust and safety at Twitter, threw some shade at GEC, and indeed, that was actually a chief narrative that we found in the Twitter files, which was that Twitter's chief content moderation officers had too many government officials trying to call them on the phone, and they did not want to add another group, particularly one that they felt was incompetent and didn't understand what they were doing, to the trust tree. Ultimately, however, after a year of very fevered interactions within the company, they were forced to allow GEC into their weekly or monthly discussions with the government, what they called the industry meetings. And there is an email that we found in the Twitter files from a former CIA officer who went to work at Twitter, who was explaining that there was once a time when Twitter would have been able to say no to that kind of request, but our window on that is closing.